Hi, this is Bob from VVSD Tech giving you a brief overview of the Google Drive tab within gScholar. So in gScholar, my default window is my class window, which shows all my cards for my students. If I wanted to, I could switch the cards from tab view to drive view, or I can see the individual drive view for each student by clicking on the drive button on their cards. For this tutorial, I'm going to go to the Drive tab. So by hovering over the Class tab, the next button down is the Drive tab. And when that loads, I can see the individual folders that belong to this class. Now this class is named VVSD Tech, and when the class gets created, 3 folders also get created for this class. The 3 folders are a class shared folder, a class private folder, and a students folder. And within that students folder, the individual students that belong to my class also have a folder that will contain all of their documents related to my class. Also, when this class gets created, it gets put into a more archived folder labeled 2013-2014 for this school year, and next school year would be adjusted appropriately. So back in my Google Drive, you can see here that I have a 2013-2014 folder, and if I were to expand that folder, you see I have my VVSD Tech class folder, and within that I have the shared, the students, and the private, which mimic also the shared, the students, and the private in gScholar. A little bit about each folder. The class shared folder are documents that all the students, as well as myself, can see and edit and access. The class private folder are documents that are visible only to the teacher. And then the students folder contains the folders for each individual student. So while gScholar will create these folders and organize them for me and share them out to the students in my class, I don't technically have to use the gScholar interface to navigate around folders. If I wanted to, I could do all of my sharing and creating within the Google Drive interface. The one limitation to that is that if I wanted to share things out to my students, I have to touch each individual folder, which means navigating back and forth between tabs for every single one of my students. One more feature of the gScholar interface is that I can switch between my class drive and also my drive. And so in the my drive, I can see all of the documents that belong to my Google Drive outside of the VVSD Tech class, which is nice because I can then create or upload a document into my generic Google Drive, and then from here be able to share it out to my individual classes. I could do the same thing in the Google Drive interface. For example, in the My Drive, if I wanted to, I could upload a new file, and I'll just upload this document here. Now say I wanted to share this document out to all of my students. In the Google Drive interface is to select the file and then move it to my 2013-2014 class shared folder, in which case all my students would then be able to at least view the document, but it's not their own document, it's just the one document that they can all see. That should be reflective here in my gScholar interface. If I go to my class drive and then go to my shared folder, I see the document that I had just moved. Now if I wanted to create a copy of this document for all of my students so that they could edit and then resubmit it, so using it as a template or notes or a fill-in-the-blank exercise or a quiz. Okay, what I could do, instead of having to copy it to each individual folder, I can use gScholar's Magic Copy feature. And to do that, I would select the item, click on the magic wand, I'm presented with two different options, Magic Share and Magic Copy. If I do Magic Share, then I'm going to share this one document with any individual student or students in the class. For this purpose, it's not what I want. I want a Magic Copy, where each student will have their own version that's not shared between students. It'll only be shared between myself, the teacher, and the student. So do Magic Copy, click on Next. I can share it to individual students or to the entire class. So if I have groups set up and I want to share it to just a select few students, I can do that here. But for this purpose, I'll just click on the entire class, select Next. Here I can put in a notification. So this could be instructions related to the document that I just uploaded. It gives me a default prompt. I've shared this item with you, and then gives the document. And here, if I wanted to, I can completely revamp it. Here I'll just append it. Please edit this photo and resubmit. Okay, and the last thing to do is to click on Copy. Okay, I get verification that my action was successful. I'll hit OK. And now just to verify that every student in my class received a copy of that same document in my gScholar interface, I can click on each student and see that they have that same document, JES, and what's nice is that gScholar will also append that document with their name. So I can see, if they're resubmitting it to me, who the document is from. If I were to do the same process in the Google Drive interface, I would have to go to my Shared, find the document, click on More, and then I'd have to make a copy of the document, which puts it in that same folder, and then move this document to each student's folder, which would take forever if I want to share one document with, say, 3 periods worth of classes. I have to do that 90 times, right? So that's where the gScholar interface comes in handy. I can quickly share out or copy a document to each student in my class. To switch between classes, just click on the Class drop-down menu. I can switch between my available classes and do the same process for those students. The one limitation to the gScholar interface is that I cannot open or create new documents within gScholar. So if I click on a document, I can edit the share permissions, I can rename it, I can move it from folder to folder, I can copy it to a different folder, or I can trash it all together. But notice how there's no option to even open, preview, or in a larger menu, create a new document. I have to do that in the Google Drive interface here, through the Create feature and through the Open feature here. But at least I can manage the documents within the interface. So after sharing my documents appropriately, what I would then do is go to my Google Drive, navigate to my students folder, and then from here, I can click on each student folder and open up the document that I'm wishing to grade or preview. If you have any further questions, feel free to email us at vvsdtech@vvsd.org. Thanks for watching.